Hello, everybody. My name is Jesse Slome. I'm director, well, as you'll see, of a couple of trade groups. Today's presentation is do-it-yourself techniques to generate MedSup and long-term care leads, although you could use this pretty much for any kind of insurance lead. And here's what we're going to cover. It's basically, I've titled this talk, What's Your BFO Strategy? And BFO stands for Be Found Online. My background, for folks who don't know me, and some websites, if you ever want to take some time and go visit, is I'm a marketing guy for many, many years. I'm older than the image in the photograph shown online. And I'm glad to do this presentation for Insurance WebX and any of the producers that they go out and create awareness to and who've signed. So if you're not familiar with me, I'd say for the past 25, 30 years, I have created and run several large national trade associations, the Long-Term Care Insurance Trade Organization, the MedSup Trade Association, and most recently, the National Advisory for Short-Term Care Information. And I would urge you, go visit those websites because there's a lot of information on there that can help you, and that's available free. Why on earth do you need to watch this video if you're watching it after we give the live, or stay tuned for what we're going to talk about? What on earth is your BFO strategy mean, and why is it important to you? And the answer is the last consumer phone call that I took just before going online to give this webinar, who was from a 64-year-old woman who was calling because, believe it or not, an insurance agent knocked on her door. There are still agents who are doing cold calls, knocked on her door and tried to talk to her about a short-term care policy, which actually led into a discussion of a long-term care policy. Probably within minutes after the agent left, what did this woman do? Exactly what everybody else does. They go online. They Googled looking for information. They found one of our trade associations, and ultimately I spent a few minutes with her online giving her some advice and then turning her name and information over to a specialist who is undoubtedly going to steal the sale from that unfortunate agent who made all of the effort of going out there and operating the lead. Your BFO strategy is absolutely paramount to your success today and, more importantly, tomorrow. And what I'm going to do is share with you some tips and tactics, very focused, very easy, and very specific for you to do. I'm going to do two things in this presentation. The first part is you're going to have to sit through a self-serving but a beneficial for you commercial. The Medicare Supplement Trade Association a few months ago launched the best online, and I say that humbly. We had an online find an agent directory for the past couple of years, and it was very basic and very rudimentary. And consumers liked it, and they used it, but basically it wasn't up to standards in terms of being able to be used on smart devices and phones and everything else, and it wasn't particularly consumer friendly. It benefited just the first two agents for each state that were listed. So at the beginning of 2017, we invested quite a bit of money. We revised the website, and I'm going to talk to you about it because we wanted to make it consumer friendly. I'm going to tell you how this is an option. If you're interested, you want to get listed online, there's a cost. I'm going to walk you through all of that. And that's up to you. The second part of my presentation is then going to start to focus on the tips to maximize a lead-focused LinkedIn profile. And I'm going to explain in the course of this presentation why LinkedIn is so important for agents. It is vastly overlooked and underutilized, and when it is utilized, often it's done incorrectly, but it is very important to you. So, how's this information going to benefit you? Before doing this presentation, I went online. So this is May 2017 report. And I got to tell you, everybody looks and says, oh yeah, I know my kids go online and they just, walk with their cell phones in hand. But what are older Americans doing? Here is final definitive research that talks about what the 65 plus population is doing. 2/3 of them are using the internet, but here's where that number can be deceiving, because you look and you go, well, that means, 1/3 isn't. Not when you're talking about households with income and households with education. So if you want to market to households that have no income and have no education, good luck. That's fine. You can still get away with less of an internet presence than you used to. But if you're talking about households that have a household income and that where the individuals are college educated, it's over 90%. Almost all of them are using the internet online. So if you're not doing this, what can I tell you? You just, it's fine. Listen, if it works for you, I'm not sure. Don't waste any more time watching this presentation. Go out and start knocking on doors. I assume this agent that's doing that sooner or later will stumble into a sale. Now, as I said, the first part of this presentation is going to focus on what we're doing at MedicareSupp.org. And when I did this presentation last week for a large FMO, the only question that came from an agent is, so how many people are visiting the website? And I said, to be honest, I don't know. I don't, we don't do this tracking that. We're out there promoting what we're doing, but Google Analytics can clearly show you exactly how many people do visit your website. And so for the first 6 months of 2017, I've pulled off the following chart from MedicareSupp.org. You can see by the red arrow, page views, the number of pages that people are reading on the website is up 151%, 105,000 page views. And the number of people that have gone to visit in the first 6 months are 26,000. So 50,000 people a year. What's most interesting is that second chart, what pages do your users visit? This is over the past 90 days. In the past 90 days, the number one page that people go to on the MedicareSupp.org website is the page listing where they can find a local agent. So I share that with you because I'm now going to focus on how you can be found. So what drives the website traffic to the MedSupp.org website? Two things. And you should do it yourself. When you go and do a Google search for Medicare Supplement agents, Google will instantaneously, as you can see here, it'll pull up on that first, I'm not sure if you can see my arrow, but if you can see 1.9 million results in half a second. So the first 4 results that Google pulls up will have that little ad box next to it, because those are people that pay. When you click on their link, they get charged from Google. That's how Google makes tens of billions of dollars a year based on AdWords. But right below the number 4 ad, and there's always typically 4 ads, the first organic listing is for MedicareSupp.org, find local agents. So we are very highly ranked by Google, and that's what drives traffic. We also promote the listing. So the Kiplinger's Retirement Planning 2017 guide, we have an ad that runs in there. This is what we use the agent, monies that they pay for listings. We want it to be reciprocal. We want it to benefit the agents who are listed. So we have an ad in the Retirement Planning guide that drives people to MedicareSupp.org. So how do you get listed on the website? The first thing is you want to go to the website, okay? So you go to MedicareSupp.org. This is what you'll see, the scrolling banner at the top. If you want to do what I think is a smart thing to start off, go to the agent directory, and you can see it on the home page, or you can see one of the pull downs, find local agent, or you could type it in to your website address bar, find local agent, and up will come this image. Enter your zip code, click the link, and you will see who is listed in your area. And if you look and say, gee, there are lots of people, okay, great. Maybe you don't want to add your listing, or if you see there are not that many locally, maybe you do. Or if you think you're better than them, well, then you should. So your next step is to pull down the bar that says add your listing or MedicareSupp.org get listed. When you get to this page, you can do a couple of things. The first is feel free to read the comments from listed agents. Unlike websites that list testimonials, and you'll never know if those are real people or not, I post one testimonial a month. I have many, many more to add, and these are from real agents. How do I prove to you that they are real agents? Well, you can see right there, click to see my online listing. Ron C. is actually listed online, and these are his real words. We don't make it up. I will tell you, I never promise an agent a lead. This is just part of your marketing, but I do say with all due pride that the agents that are listed up there continuously send me nice messages. So if you decide you want to kick the can and take a stab at it, you're going to click that arrow and you're going to go through the 3 steps to buy and post your listing online. Now, you can pick a 1-year, 2-year, or 3-year. The reason that we listed a 3-year listing is, I priced the 3-year listing thinking that if an agent got 1 sale over the 3 years, that the listings would more than pay for itself from the commission. Now, you may get multiple sales. You may get some sales right away. You may get none. But basically, marketing is a long-term game. And I will tell you that because Insurance WebX, we are offering a 20% discount. When you get to step 2, after you pick how long you want it to be, you can, by the way, we can add your listing for you, but we don't have to. You can save the $50 because I promise you, you can do this yourself. When you click continue to step 2, at the top, you'll see have a referral code. Click to enter your code. Then enter WebX20 and be sure to click the apply referral code button because that will reduce your price. If you don't enter it and you don't click apply referral code, you will pay the first price. Now, once you're done, you will get an email or you can go right to step 3 and start posting your listing. And this is where we're going to get into the meat because what I'm going to do now is show you multiple listings. Listen, all listings are great, and I love and appreciate all the agents who've taken the time to pay for and get listed online. But I'm going to talk to you and say, if these 2 listings came up, which of the agents do you think you would call? Would you call Gary? And they're both really good people. Would you call Gary Haft or would you call Avi? And the reason I bring this up is a lot of agents do not enter or take the time to complete all the information on their listing. And more importantly, many of them, and I understand, Gary happens to have a website, so he's able to offer you the opportunity to have a live link to visit his website. But if you don't have a website, and many agents don't, it's ever so much more important that you at the very least have a LinkedIn profile. And that's what we're going to focus on today, how not only to have a LinkedIn profile, but how to make it great. And also, while I'm having you and talking about this, it really is important to have a good description for yourself. So under the phone numbers, you get, I believe it's 140 characters, where you can write anything about yourself. And this is really important because this is when you're being found online. This is what consumers are looking at and how they are comparing. And they are going to buy from the person that gives them the most information in the most non-sales oriented way. And that's why they're keywords. If you look at that top one, that's why I sort of picked this. Specializing in senior solutions with Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage plans, even though this is a MedSupp website, Medicare drug plans. He spells it all out. So let's now take a little bit of time. As I said, what should your listing have? This is on the medsup.org agent listing for internet savvy agents. Well, I've sort of covered it. It should have a good description, and it should have, that's where I put the arrow there, a link to either a website or your LinkedIn profile. And the wording should be very good. The reason I'm picked Roxanne's listing is while she is based and headquartered in Simi Valley, her listing, those first few words do a couple of things. Telling the consumer that she serves LA and Ventura counties since 1986, so she is not a newbie in this business. And I love the way she ends, free quotes by phone and house calls offered at no charge. So I will share with you, if you add your listing, take the time. This is key. Just people think, oh, I've added my listing. Now the phone's going to ring. No, the consumer will go to the website. The consumer will see all agents listed in their immediate proximity based on how many miles away from their zip code they are. So right now we're doing a 200-mile radius. We're going to, by the end of the year, shorten that to 100 as more agents get listed. But the consumer is still only going to check the first 2, 3, 4 listings. That's all they're going to scroll down. So your listing description has got to be really good. So now we're going to get to the second part of the presentation, why it's vital for you to create a lead-focused LinkedIn profile. And as I said, today you have to give consumers the opportunity to find you and to check you out. They're going to do this, and what they see is going to make the difference between whether they are willing to connect and buy from you or whether they aren't. And they're going to do this online. And so here's what I strongly suggest. So I suggest you do a Google search, and in the search bar, you type your name. And today, Google will bring up results before you even hit enter. So I started typing in Jesse Slome, and I live and am based in what's called a town called Westlake Village, which is just a part of an LA suburb. Before, as you can see, before I even finished typing West, up come results. And I am the #1 thing that they found. I'm not just Jesse Slome. They would have pulled up a whole bunch of other Jesse Slomes. But what is the #1 result is my LinkedIn profile. And I bet when you do this for yourself, this is what you're going to find as well. Now, if I happen to be the only Jesse Slome in America so far, so that makes it easy and good for for Google to pull me up first. If your name is John Smith or Mary Smith, obviously you're not the only John or Mary Smith in America. So you might start to type in your city and see, but I promise you, in general, the first result organically, and possibly even there will be no AdWords that show up on that page, is going to be your LinkedIn profile. And that's why, whether you buy a listing online on medsup.org or whether you just are out there promoting yourself, that's why your LinkedIn profile is so focused to having a successful lead-focused strategy. So we're going to do the simple steps on how you can do it yourself. I want to tell you 2 things. I want to say most agents are terrified about doing things online. And there's no question that, I'm 64, turning 65 soon. I'm able to do quite a bit online, but I stumble around, and I tell people the same thing I keep telling myself. Have faith in your ability. You're not going to screw it up terribly. It might take you 3 times as long as it would take for your 20-year-old kid or grandkids to do this, and you can certainly involve them, but have faith in your ability to do it. And I'm going to go through the steps in the same mode that I'm going through now. If that's too fast for you, email me at jslome@medicaresup.org, and what I will do is send you a PDF of this presentation. It's a large attachment, so I may have to drop box folder for folks, but just write down my email, jslome@medicaresup.org, and I will send you a PDF so that you can go through this a lot slower. Okay, step one, start or improve your LinkedIn profile. If you don't have a profile, it's really easy. You're going to go to linkedin.com/start/join. That's the shortcut. If you do a Google search, join or start LinkedIn profile, it should bring you to this page. And you're basically going to enter your first name, last name, your email, and a password. Make sure you save your password. And, you know, that's pretty much it. You're on your way. I'm going to assume that many of you at one point or another had a LinkedIn or have a LinkedIn profile that you haven't visited in ages. And that's understandable because LinkedIn is primarily used to job search. You're an insurance professional. You're not searching for a job. You're searching for clients, and you're having clients search for you online. So that doesn't matter. Okay, but that's why I understand a lot of people have pretty simple or pretty crappy or pretty incomplete LinkedIn profiles, and if that's you, you need to change it. So you sign in at linkedin.com, sign into your profile, and the profiles and what shows up online today changes. So there's a couple of things. The first thing is at the top, you can have a background photo or an image. The one that I'm showing that kind of shows on the lower down image, I created a nice little word cloud that I thought would look really good. But you can use, you know, a photo of yourself. You can use an image. If you don't use something, then LinkedIn has some default generic images. But I would tell you, I think it's worth the time to find and do something yourself. Now, in order to update, and you're going to, on the right-hand side, you can see where it says update the background photo and upload, that first red arrow, upload a photo. I've enlarged it. The recommended size for a photo is 1,584 by 396 pixels, which every web person understands what that is. And your eyes have probably glazed over, and the first thing you're doing is saying, see, I don't even understand what a pixel is, so I can't do this. Well, that's not true. So, and by the way, on the LinkedIn page, there's LinkedIn Help. And anytime you're stumbling on something, just go to the LinkedIn Help tab button and type in your search. Like here, I typed in adding or changing the background photo, and up comes a description that tells you how to do it, what to do it, other links to read more, and what the file type is. But let's go back to that 1584 by 396 pixel recommended. Pixel is nothing more than the internet measurement. It's how many basically dots per I assume per inch. Shows how little I know. Could be centimeters, etc. But basically, it's the size of your photo. Now you look and you say, well, I have a photo, but I don't know, it's not the right size. Perfect. Go to resizeyourimage.com, open that in your web browser as a separate page, and just follow the instructions to upload. You click that little button that says, choose, have your image, let's say, on your desktop. Choose your file, and you can then find that image, upload it. Even if it's not a JPEG, you're going to want for LinkedIn for your file to be ideally a JPEG. And then you're going to play with the size, zooming in, zooming out, cropping it. You can see on the left-hand side the width and the height. So when you get your picture to the size that LinkedIn wants, you're going to click the Do It button. You're going to get it to the highest resolution, save it as a JPEG, and then click the Save button, the Do It and the Save button. It's really easy. I do these all the time. And the image will now be, you'll save it, drag it to your desktop, and now you have a background image for LinkedIn. By the way, the same thing is true for your headshot, because when you're doing your headshot, LinkedIn is going to want, is going to give you the opportunity to do a headshot. So I'm showing you 4 different profiles. Doesn't matter, you know, every person gets to pick and choose what they want, how they want their image to look. But here's a couple of thoughts. So Mark has a great looking image. Clearly he sells Medicare. Clearly he and his family are also into fishing, which is great. And so when people look at his LinkedIn profile, they clearly see that he sells Medicare insurance plans and annuities, and he clearly does it well enough because he can go either scuba diving and fishing, which is great. Now, compare that to the one below him, Susan Hatch. I happen to know Susan. She is, you know, a top Medicare Supplement expert. Susan does an enormous number of talks a year. So, and probably wants to do more of those. So it was natural for her to use an image of her at the front of a room shown speaking. Karen, I will go to the right-hand side. Crystal has a nice profile. Her image, her background image is one of the LinkedIn default images. So that it works. It's very nice, but you'll see this image on a lot of people. And Karen picked an image that I'm going to talk about in a second, which I give her kudos for, because when you're listed online, we provide you with some artwork. But so we've talked about the background. We're going to talk about your headshot. But we're also going to, when someone does a search for a LinkedIn profile, what you're going to see when you look at these folks is you're not just going to see their background image and their headshot, you're going to see the key things, what's called the name and title field. Clearly, you can't change your name. Your name is your name, but the title field is something you can change, and you should make sure that it really talks about what you want. So, as I said, LinkedIn populates your headline with your job title and the current company, but you don't have to leave it that way, and you probably shouldn't, because if you put down, oh, I'm Jesse Slome, and I'm with XYZ Financial Insurance, that's nice, but not if you're looking to be seen as a Medicare Supplement expert. You should consider listing your specialty and speaking directly to your audience. If we went back and I showed you Susan Hatch's, hers actually has her phone number in it, because even when somebody goes to her LinkedIn profile online, she wants people to be calling her. And if you want, your profile should be searchable, which means searchable means using keywords. Like if your title was Medicare Supplement Expert for Missouri, it's far more likely that Google will spot that when they're doing a search for Medicare Supplement Expert Missouri, Medicare Supplement Expert Kansas City, you know, etc. Google searches, as you could tell, LinkedIn ranks very high. Keep your headline short to about 10 words. Tell your most important target audience who you are, how you differ, and how you can help them. I'm showing you my image up here because I want my key audience, my key demographics are people that are looking for a long-term care, a Medicare supplement, or a short-term care expert. So you can see I've based on one of the ways they will define or typically search for someone, especially media people, is they're looking for associations and association heads and experts. So my headline has some of those keywords. The reason I have the smaller arrow there is when you get to your profile and you want to edit it and you look and you go, how do I do that? You're clicking the blue pencil. The blue pencil will open up the fields so that you can edit your profile. Last thought, showing you again some of these profiles. One, One of the ways to really, before you start to decide what your profile should be, look at other people's profiles. The reason I pulled out Crystal's is I like, personally, that she says I specialize in Medicare supplements and long-term care insurance. That tells me exactly who she is and what she does. Like Susan Hatch's, I like all of their wordings, Mark's too, etc. And Karen's says Medicare supplement specialist, which is good. Probably should have a little bit more of a description in terms of regionality, etc. There's certainly more space for her to add something. Your photo. All data and statistics show and prove that having a photo will increase the likelihood that someone will view your LinkedIn profile 11 times. Your photo needs to be simple, clean, a headshot, and it should be smiling. I literally am showing you 4 photos used by insurance professionals on LinkedIn. 4 real people. If you went to their LinkedIn profile and you were looking to buy insurance, would you buy insurance from these folks? Maybe you would, and that's terrific. I'm not ever going to tell you what works absolutely all the time in marketing. Doesn't always. But I'm going to give you my opinion and say a professional headshot, a smiling headshot, clean, no distraction, focused on what you do, is far more likely. If you have a headshot and you do not know how to resize it, well, just remember, go to resizeyourimage.com and you can do it there. Step 3, the next key part of your LinkedIn profile is your summary. If we go back to, let me go back a slide or two to some of these profiles. I cut them short, sorry, when I did the images. But typically, if you do a search on Google or you search for that person and you click on their LinkedIn profile, if you're not connected with the person and the prospect is generally not going to be connected with you, they're going to see your name, your job title, that quick description, and they're going to see the first 2 lines of your summary. So your summary is actually really important, and just those first 2 lines. I recommend that your first 2 lines become a first-person conversation between you and the reader. They're not interested they're interested in what you can do for them and who you are. So I use the following. My name is Jesse Slome, and I am proud to be a nationally recognized expert in, etc. This is how I want to convey myself to them and how I can help them. The rest of my summary goes on. I think you get 2,000 characters. It is really important to end with a call to action. Most people don't do that. It's true. Most people won't read past the first paragraph, so make that great. I truly, again, suggest that you take a few minutes to read profiles and summaries from some of your competitors to see what they're saying, to use the phrasing that resonates with people you hope will connect. Whether you see that on somebody else's profile, there's nothing that's ever original. You're just taking the best from others and copying it yourself or using it. And again, it really is beneficial to close by saying that you are interested in connecting and helping the other person. And here's how. Call me, email me, etc. I did pull up. This is a real summary. I'm actually, you can tell, next to Angela's photo, Angela Mann's photo is the first. That means Angela and I are connected. And so I could message her if I wanted, etc. But even if I'm not, you can see by that red arrow, up will come the first 2 lines of her summary description. So read others and focus on doing that. I pulled here 4 different summaries. I went online. I went to LinkedIn and I started looking up Medicare Supplement agents. And these are 4 real descriptions, screenshots of their description, of their summary. So provide seniors with their best option based on rates and insurance companies in their state for a Medicare supplement. Wow. Pretty clean, pretty, crisp and clear. I own and operate level 3 insurance. I don't know what that is, and who cares? An independent insurance agency. If you're watching this, I'm sorry. I'm mainly focused in property and casualty, Medicare Supplement and life products. Okay, that's good. It's got that in there. I've been advising people and selling extended or long-term care for the past 11 years. Good. My goal is to educate people, not sell them something. So I pulled these because they're all good descriptions. They all have some benefit that's important to the person. See what others say in their first 2 sentences, first 2 lines rather, and pull the stuff that is you believe is suited to you, comfortable for you, and how you want to project yourself. So we're getting to the end of this first step. So I'm going to tell you what we will be focusing on at future presentations. But basically, there are a couple of tips for you here on this slide. The first is, it is important that you complete as many fields as you can on your LinkedIn profile, okay? And that you join us. I'm going to be doing other programs focused on using either social media or do-it-yourself marketing techniques to generate more leads. And if you found this of value, I hope that you will join us on future conversations. The second one is one more free tip. On MedicareSupp.org, under the Agent Center, you can click on that and it will open up the pull down. Click on the Video Library tab, because what the association has done is at the past 2 National MedSupp conferences, we have taken on the expense of filming all the sessions, and you can actually sign in and watch them online for free. There are agent sales sessions that are available at a low cost, and we even have a discount there. You're going to pay the recording company, but there are lots of sessions that you can access and watch for free. So free is always good, in my opinion. Cheap is good too. Some of those agent sales, a lot of agents like watching the agent sales training sessions that we've recorded at the past 2 national conferences. So just go to MedicareSupp.org and click on the Video Library tab. And lastly, I don't want to overlook saying, after you complete your LinkedIn profile, you can go back and add your LinkedIn profile to your agent listing on MedicareSupp.org. There is a little bit of a nuance to it, because your LinkedIn profile is actually not just your name, it's your name and a LinkedIn generated code. So what you need to do is search online for your own LinkedIn profile. That's pretty easy. You just type in, and I show Michael Pino here because I fixed his link, and he was surprised to find out that he was not the only Michael Pino in America. Well, chances are you are not. So the way you find your profile is you do a Google search, Michael Pino LinkedIn profile. Up will come the link. Click on that. Copy the address that's in the toolbar. HTTPS is basically, the S means that this website is secure. LinkedIn's website is more secure. You copy that, and then you paste it into the admin panel for your profile on MedicareSupp.org. So again, I'll end with thanking you for watching, and I'll end with a commercial. If you are still not 100% sold on adding your listing to the nation's #1 Find an Agent directory, well, at the very least, go to MedicareSupp.org, type in your zip code, and see which agents are listed in your immediate area, and decide if you want to try this for a year, 2 years, or 3 years, and hopefully have consumers calling you and finding you. I want to thank you for taking the 40 minutes today to watch this video. I want to thank our partner, Insurance WebX, for promoting it. You can visit their website to access recordings of this and hundreds of other great presentations. And again, you can go to MedicareSup.org, where we have videos from past MedSup conferences, and launched in 2019, we literally are just rolling it out this week, is a low-cost E&O policy for agents who sell MedSup, long-term care, and other products. So you should go to MedicareSup.org and look for that. Thank you so very much for watching today, and I wish you good marketing.